Hello everyone. I believe we are all conversant with the use of calculator to make simple calculation and for summing up our financial data. But what if we want to sum up a long list of numbers, or we want to sum up a long list of numbers with a particular condition? Then this video is for you. In today's tutorial, we are going to demonstrate how to use the sum if, and the sum ifs function. And I believe that at the end of this video, you will be confident to use any of these functions for your financial and data analysis. My name is Olani Ishofunwa, and don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. To start with, we are going to demonstrate three ways of summing up numbers in Microsoft Excel, and you will now decide which of the three ways is faster and easier for you to use. In this on the screen, we have a table of sales record, and the task is to sum up the unit in column C, the cost in column D, and the amount in column E. So the first method is by calling the cell reference C2 plus C3 plus C4 plus C5 C6 C7 plus C8 plus C9 plus C10. This is one of the way of summing up numbers in Microsoft Excel by calling the cell reference. But you can see that this particular method is very tiring, especially when we have a long list. And that will take me to the second method. The second method is, rather than calling the cell reference, rather call the range reference for this particular method. And the first thing is I call my sum and my sum formula, then referring to the range reference D2 to D10, my sum is done. But another thing with this particular method is, imagine that we have 1,000 rows that we want to sum up, or we have 100 items that we want to sum up. Then calling the range reference the way I did it can also be an arduous task for us to do. That will take me to the third method. For the third method, once the cursor is placed on the last cell of the item of the numbers that we want to sum, then from there, from our home tab, we go to the right hand side and we identify this AutoSum icon. When from this AutoSum icon, when I select the Excel automatically highlights the numbers that I want to sum. Then pressing enter, my sum is done. So we can now see now. I believe that we've seen the three ways of summing up numbers in Microsoft Excel, and you can decide which of the three methods is easier for you to use. Do so and leave a comment in the comment section. So the next that we want to talk about now is the sum if function. The sum if function is used when we want to sum up a list of numbers with when we want to sum up a list of numbers with a particular condition. And when we look at the function, the sum if function, the syntax for it, the first one is the range. And the range is the column that contains the condition or the criteria that we want to meet. The second syntax is the criteria or the condition that must be met for that sum to be done. And the third syntax is the column that contains the numbers that we want to sum together. So, having defined the sum if function, now let us demonstrate it with this example. So the first task for this sales table is I want to calculate what is the total amount of items sold in March. As we can see that this particular task asks us to calculate the total amount that was sold in March. That is one condition. So in this case, we are making reference to column A, which is the month column, and column G, which is the amount column. So I will recall my sum if function. The range is the month function because we want to find the total sum of items that was sold in March. The criteria is March. When I select March as my criteria, then the sum range. So from here, we can see that 2,151.45 is the total amount of items sold in March. We can as well cross-check this manually. Then the second task is, what is the total amount of pencils sold? Now, this particular case also, we want to find the total amount of items sold, but we want to refer to only pens sold. That is the condition. So this time around, we are making reference to column D of the item, which is the item column, and the column G, which is the amount column. So the same thing, I call in my SUMIF function. The range is column D because we want to know the number of the amount of pencil that was sold. Then the criteria is pencil. So I select pencil and the amount column, that is the sum. So that shows that 1,157.02 worth of pencil was sold between January and April in this particular establishment. So then the third task is what is the total amount of units sold that is less than 20? That is, we want to know, in between January and April, how many units that are less than 20, what is their worth that was sold? So in this case, the condition is we are considering column E, which is the unit column, and the amount. So the next thing I'm going to do is to call in my SUMIF function. Then the range is the units. Then the criteria, because I want to find the units that are less than 20, so I call in my quotation mark less than 20. Then the sum range, then that is column G. So that means that between January and February, the units that were less than 20, 459.74 are the worth of units less than 20 that was sold within that particular region establishment. So I believe that this shows us with this example, we'll be able to understand how to use the SUMIF function. But to confirm that we understood this particular function, kindly try your hands on this number 4 task. What is the worth of total sales made by New England region? Try your hand on this particular task and put your answer in the comment section. I'll be waiting to learn from you. So the next task that we're going to do is the SUMIFS function. In this case, for the SUMIFS function, we use this particular function when we want to do the sum with more than one condition. That is, if you are asked to do a sum and we are required to meet 2 or 3 or 4 or several conditions, then we use our SUMIFS function. And before we demonstrate, let us see the syntax for the SUMIFS function. The first syntax is the sum range, and that is the column that contains the data that we want to sum together. That is the sum range. So the next syntax is the criteria range. That is the column that contains the particular condition that needs to be met. And the third criteria, the third syntax is the criteria. That is the condition that you are asked to meet. So having defined the SUMIF function, we've seen what the syntax. Let us demonstrate the SUMIFS function. So in this case, with the task number 1 is what is the total value of items sold in May by Elena. So that means that in this particular task 1, we are asked to meet 2 conditions. Number 1 is the items sold in May, and not only items sold in May, but the items sold by Elena in May. So that means that we are going to refer to the month column, which is column A, and the employee column, which is column C, and as well as the amount column. So when we recall our SUMIFS function, the sum range, that is the amount column, column G. Criteria number 1, don't forget I want to know the items sold in May. So then that means we are calling the month column. The criteria number 1 is in May, so we select May. Then criteria range 2, sold by Elena, so that shows that we are selecting the employee column. And the criteria is Elena. We want to know, okay, we select Elena. So that shows that in the month of May, Elena sold 787.57 worth of item in the month of May. Then, so we go to the second task, which is what is the total cost of binder sold by Jones in New England region? Then this particular task, we are asked to fulfill three conditions, which are we want to know the cost of binder sold, that is condition number one, by who? By Jones, condition number two, and from in which region? New England region, criteria number three. So we are asked to meet these three criteria, and that shows that we are considering item column, employee column, and the region column. So let's call in our SUMIFS function. Then the first syntax is the sum range, which is the amount column. Then criteria number one, which is the binder sold. So we select by criteria range, which is the item column. Then the criteria is binder, so we select binder. Criteria range number two is sold in by Jones. Then that is criteria range two is the employee column. Then the criteria two is Jones. Criteria range number three is the region column, and the criteria is New England. So this shows to us that 618.76 worth of binder was sold by Jones in New England region. Then the task number three is we have to find the total value of pencil sales made in Midwest region by Andrews in April. So this time around, task three, we are asked to meet four criteria. Number one is we want to know the worth of pencil sold, which is number one. In the Midwest region, criteria two. By Andrews, criteria number three. And in April, criteria number four. So we have to meet four criteria for us to do this sum. So you recall our SUMIFS function. Then so the first syntax is the amount, which is a sum range. Criteria number one, which is pencil. So we select the item column, that is the criteria range. The criteria is pencil, so we select pencil. Criteria range two is we are asked to make in the Midwest region. So criteria range two is the region column. And criteria two, that is Midwest. Criteria range three, by who? By Andrews. So that is employee column. Then criteria three, Andrews. So we select Andrews. Criteria range four, that is the month because in April. So we select the month column. Then the criteria is April. So that shows that 280.59 worth of pencil was sold in the Midwest region by Andrews in April. And I believe that we understand the step by step of how we're able to apply this particular SUMIF function for this to solve this particular task. So to confirm that you understand what we just did in this exercise, kindly try your hands on this on the number four task, so that to confirm that you understand at least what is the total sales made by Howard between January and June. Try your hands on this particular exercise, and I'll be expecting to see your answer in the comment section. And also don't forget that this particular worksheet that we use for this video will be made available in the description section. So you can download this worksheet, try your hands on this particular function so that for you to understand more about this function. So so far I believe that I've been able to demonstrate how to do the SUMIF and the SUMIFS function in Excel. This particular function is very important for us, especially for our financial analysis, and it will take away majority of the manual work or the manual way of summing up our numbers. Once you understand this particular function, then you'll be quite efficient with your financial analysis. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it to your friends and colleagues so that they too can learn from it. And like I always said, if there's any function that you are struggling with in Microsoft Excel, put it in the comment section below and we shall look at it together. Thank you and see you in the next class.